Welcome, everybody, to Railbirds TV and the 2024 Derby City Classic One Pocket Division. This is round 8. I am your host, Scott Frost, aka The Freezer. And as you see on your screen, we've got a treat for you. Well, I guess we could call him one of the best one pocket players to live. His name is Fedor Gorst versus Brandon Shuff, who some of you may know, some of you may not, but Brandon has been around a long time, and specifically this event is playing phenomenal. Brandon's been one of the best players in America for a decade and a half, as far as I know it. Go over the rules real quick. As you saw, they lag for break. The winner will get the break. It'll be an alternate break. Following that, each player has a designated pocket. The first to make any 8 balls will win the game. Any foul will cost you a ball. 3 foul rule is in effect, and it is a race to 3. So leading back to that, Brandon working really hard. I've watched him throughout this event. He's playing very well, very confident. He is a serious threat in this match. Of course, you've got to give Fedor the nod, but with Brandon winning the lag in this race to 3, I don't know about that. Anybody's game. Brandon breaks the balls, and right away we notice he's got a ball high and low. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot spread open, but this is pretty dangerous because you have to protect against the 7 and the 13. We'll notice in the lower or upper right corner that the 14 and 7 are doubled up. It's just something to always take note of. Trying to see what he's looking at. He could definitely come off the 14 pretty easily. Ideally, get right behind the 13. Very tough to do from this distance. But it's Fedor Gorst. And that's very, very strong. The reason it's so strong is he cuts Shuff pretty much off from kicking at anything in the stack. Because if he leaves him over here to the right 4 or 5 inches near the corner pocket, Brandon might have a kick to the top side of the 9 and just sweep everything his way. Looks like he can clip off the 7 and go to the pile. Or, excuse me, clip off the 9, go to the pile. So that's pretty good for Shuff. Fedor got such a high IQ for the game. And when I mean the game, I'm talking about all cue sports. Just naturally gifted when it comes to the right shot. Obviously, he's put in years of hard work and, in my opinion, has the best fundamentals alive. But you can tell he just naturally understands all the pool games very, very well. Is he entertaining the kick on this 9? Dangerous, because you can't protect the cue ball. I would consider maybe looking at something else. Can you shoot the 2 into the back of the 9 and clear them both somehow? I know he's reaching. If he did that, just stick him in the pile. Yeah, very, very dangerous. I'm a little surprised he played that like that. Maybe panicked a little bit. But you know that you're going to leave the 7 regardless, even if you hit it decent. So maybe some early jitters for B. Shuff. Does Gorst try to come all the way around here? Or does he just hold? It's almost a little flat to come all the way around. Or a little straight. Wow. little surprised at that. I'm assuming that he tried to play that off the 15. If not, just caught it too thick when he tried to hold it. Neither here nor there. That's a good sign for Brandon Shuff. Now looking at the 15. The 2, 12, 10, 15 might be close. Is he entertaining the bank on the 14 and drawing over? Very tough. Maybe going 3 rails here. Yeah. If he got him covered with the 6, meaning Gorst can't see the whole 14, it's not terrible. Tough to tell. So he's going to come off the 6 here. All cue ball. I don't know. Did he let him see the 4 or the 7? Still not terrible for Gorst because you can't really get away with the cue ball here. Doing anything with the 4 or the 7. I would consider ticking the bottom of the 14 going up to the top left corner. Just feather it. Use the 6 as cover. And keep him snookered on the 14. Let's see what he's got in mind here. The problem here is I don't think you can get the cue ball away. You're going to go up, yeah, you're going to go up that direction, which is the wrong side of the pile. Typically a no-no. Unless there's a huge benefit. I just don't know how he gets positioned if he does make something. Yeah, I like what he did, though. He drew it out. He'd like to have gotten the cue ball a little further up table, but pretty good value with that shot. Wow. Opened everything up. 4, 13, 14, and 7 are now all threats. For how long, I don't know. Yeah, pretty good shot. Boy, it would have been even much stronger if he'd have got the cue ball up there to that top rail. Obviously, the shot didn't lie correctly for that. I'm trying to figure out here if he can come off the 6. I think he's going to go into the 13. I'd like to be able to play the 6 up to your side, just below the left center, and just tuck down 1 rail behind the 14. But I don't think that's on. 13 might be in the way. He sees something here with the 4 into the 13. Maybe sweep everything. Oh, yeah. 3 leaked out. Fedor's not going to like this, I don't think. Now, this is where the game gets a little funny. Is the value in banking the 3 to the 2 and stunning up to the top right corner? Depends on how the 9 is laying. Or is the value to bank it low off the bottom of the 7? Yeah, it all depends. I mean, I really like banking it into the pile and stunning up with controlled speed, right? You're not hitting it so hard that everything's going to come flying back to his side. So the only issue with that shot is that you're just going to leave a bare ball in front of your hole, and that's much easier to contend with versus 3 or 4, in my opinion. Now, I'm not at the table. It wasn't obviously my decision. But even if he would have got that ball a little closer, I don't know how big of a threat it is. Fedor going to cross this over. Yeah. Oh boy. That ended up nasty. Very nasty. One thing I see here is kicking to the bottom rail, trying to cross the 3 over if you get to the right side of the cue ball. Can't tell from this angle. Yeah, I think he's got enough room to kick the 3 over. You can play this with a right ball. Just going to have to catch further to the right of the 3 on this bottom rail, because obviously the cue ball is going to turn towards it. This is what he's going to entertain. Oh, he just went right into it. That tells me maybe he didn't have enough to kick it over. But if he did, that was an error. Not sure that he did have the room. Gorst has a pretty good look at the 7 or the 13, depending on what he likes. Playing on 9-foot tables, 860 Simonis cloth, 4.5-inch pockets, so they are forgiving. Most of these guys here at the Derby City are pretty aggressive due to that nature. Shooting a 9. Oh, short again. So that's 2 banks that Fedor's had if he played them to the pocket that were just short. Well, one of them was quite a bit short. Man, this is a good look. He's got options here. He can cross the 13 towards the 7, tuck up there, the center diamond. That long rail on the left side. Yeah, I almost don't mind that. If you bank it this 4, it's a must make pretty much, because Fedor's going to cut that 2 from anywhere up table. There's nothing wrong with crossing the 3 into the 7. Excuse me, the 13 into the 7. Looks pretty solid. Even if you get all the way up there, it's okay. Can you hit it with more speed and catch the 13 thicker and cross it straight into the 9? Might even be better. Yeah, that's good. Fedor might cut this too, though. So I felt like you might want to keep him a little lower. If he shoots at this, make him a heavy favorite to make it. Pretty good escape. He could come off the 8, bring it to his side if he needs to, and tuck down below the 7. Interesting what he did here. Well, geez. Fedor struggling early. Thought he might come all the way down and keep Brandon cut off from anything up table. He wanted to just leave him to the backside of the 7 and let Brandon see the 4. Of course, he wouldn't shoot it because of the 8. So Fedor just come up short there. And if you can make that ball like that, you have to slam it, in my opinion, to get something to come back over to your side. He knows it. Just not thrilled with the decision. Yeah, so he's put himself in a bit of a bind here. How do you keep Fedor off the 8? I don't know if he meant to jack him up like this over the 13 or not, but if he did, it's about as good as he could do. Fedor'd really like to bank that 8, but the 13's a problem. Is the 2 available? Does the 3 have him cut off? Yeah, so he's going to the 8. Wow, difficulty is at a 10 here. Oh my goodness gracious. What a hit this was. Did he get a look at the 2? What a hit that was. So difficult to hit that ball accurately. Any movement in the body, the arm, at all in that backswing, and you're going to miss-hit that ball. That kind of leads back to what I was discussing with his fundamentals. They are rock solid. As good as they get. Acting like he's got a good shot at the 2 at worst. If so, I don't see really any threat at selling out. He's going to knock this down. And Gorst going to be off to the races. This is due to the 7 ball that Shuff had, and he cut to his pocket, but he just kind of babied it, to be honest. So that was a big turning point early. And it's a massive game because Shuff won the lag. So he's got options here. He could shoot the 15 and come all the way out for the 12, then roll down for the 9 and 13. He could shoot the 9 and come back for the 15. He's got all types of options here. He could shoot the 13 and come around. Well, the 12, I don't know if you want to shoot that next or not. Yeah, so he's going to shoot the 9 and draw. Very well done. Gorst playing for 4. He's not thrilled with it, but I don't see anything major wrong here. He'd like to get all the way out. Can he draw into the stack now and wiggle something open and guarantee himself a shot on the 13 still? I think that's what he was considering. He said, I'm just going to take what the table gives me. Playing for 3. Now, hopefully, in Gorst's case, trying to open something up. Doesn't look easy, though, because the 14 stops the 11. It's a little tricky to get another shot here. Let's see what he's got in mind. Oh, well, he powered through it. And that's that backswing for you. He doesn't let up. Very rarely do you see Fedor decelerate. This could go wrong if he doesn't catch it first. Sometimes this angle will fool the player. Pretty hard to miss this, I believe. But he has missed it. And look at this. I think Shuff's got to commit to the 4. It can win you the game. or at least get you back to where you need 1. And commit is the best word. You make this in practice all the time. They're forgiving pockets. Hit it pure. Stay down. Good transition. And that's what he's done. Like to have gotten a little out of the cue ball, a little bit more, but I think he'll be fine here. Probably go to the 14 now. Like to get above the 6 if you can. Yeah, now you can drop over for the 5 or play the 10. I like dropping over for the 5 and make sure you get an angle. But there's nothing wrong with playing the 10 or 1 now, or the 10 and then the 1. This is pretty much player preference. It might be better to play the 10. You don't want to fall straight on the 5 by shooting the 6. That's worst case scenario. You could overhit it as well, meaning the 6. Kind of get funny on the 5. But it's pretty natural. Oh, wow. Wow. I thought he would draw 1 rail over to the 5. So that's very surprising. I expect him to pick it up and move along. Gorst going to take game number 1. A few errors early. This is round 8. I know these guys have been playing a lot of pool. Nobody's going to play perfect. Thank you so much to Bad Boys Billiard Productions for your partnership. We appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, so that was a big game right there, obviously. In a race to 3, when you win the lag, you've got to hold serve. Gorst steals that game, and now basically Brandon's got to win 2 to his 1 to stay in a good position. And not only win 2 to his 1, he's got to crack Fedor's serve. Gorst breaking from the long rail. A lot of players breaking closer to the center. Here you make a little more contact with the second ball, but you also risk getting closer to the scratch. Just like so. So my point with that, on new cloth, when you're using a maximum inside English, it's very, very tough to judge exactly where that cue ball is going to contact the head ball. It's very easy to catch too much of the second ball, get to kiss and scratch in the lower right corner like he did. So what players will do is move the cue ball more towards the center to catch more of that head ball, which takes a little bit of the risk of scratching out and also a little bit of the risk of selling the corner ball out. Now that's only on new cloth. Older cloth, it's a little different. That being said, the break wasn't terrible. Brandon looking to do something with the 2. Nothing wrong with banking the 2 up into the 11 with a little speed. Stunning down 1 rail, kind of in between this lower center diamond and the lower left diamond. Maybe jiggle something to your side if you catch the right side of the 11 with the 2. Yeah, that's okay. It's not terrible. He moved the 10 to his side. I believe that's going to go away. A little movement in his stroke there, too. I saw it in the last couple shots. We all tend to get it. So Fedor's got options here. You can actually play the 9 one rail into the bottom of the 10, sweeping 10 and 9 to his side. Takes more accuracy. Stun the cue ball up to the lower right. He could just cross the 10 over towards the 8. Bring the cue ball up to the lower right. Typically, these guys are looking to do a little bit more to you than just that. Sometimes the most basic play is the most effective in this game. And I think he's going to the 10. Crossing it over, going up table. I think there's value. Okay, he's going to keep it containing it. I'm up on the 9. That's a clean shot, especially if he gets there. Tells me that maybe the 4 is close to wired to Brandon's pocket, because I felt like there was quite a bit of value crossing the 10 over to your side and just putting him up in the top right corner. Brandon acting like he can do something with this 11-3. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know how you get to that. And if you do, it doesn't really look on. Can he bank the 15 below the 7 and 5? Well, I like what he did. Pretty powerful play. And the 7 and 5 were tied up, basically. So he knew if he punched downwards the cue ball or got the cue ball low, that he was probably going to be all right. He's changed the entire game with that shot. So huge value there for Shuff. These balls might be going up table. I don't know if he wanted Brandon to see all the 11 there, but I don't know what it really matters. If this table was 4 1/8 inch, I would consider one rail kicking up to the 1 softly. Testing or trapping Fedor into the distance. Don't think he would shoot it, but I'm just showing you options. Shuff, all too aware of how dangerous Gorst is. Here I feel like you've just got to bunt the 11 back up table. Draw the cue ball back somewhere near where it's at now almost. Maybe just towards the diamond here. I don't think you can take too much of a chance. Wow. Wow, how did that not scratch? Can we get another look? It felt like that was dangerous, though. He's staying very aggressive. Take a look at this. How does it not scratch with the 2 there? And it clips the 8, though, the 3 and the 8. Wow. Well, 1 to the good for Brandon Shuff. And this is proving to put Gorst in a trickier and trickier position as well. He's going to chip off the 5 or the 14. I assume the 14. Yeah, that's pretty well controlled from where he was. Yeah, not as easy as he made that look. That's for certain. Can Brandon kick one rail behind the 2? Send the cue ball up table towards the 1. Really keeping the heat on Fedor. Yeah, so he must have been too far behind the 11 to entertain the kick behind the 2. Fedor's got options. He could tuck him below the 7 here. I don't believe that's what he had in mind either. Now I know you can go rail first on the 2. I don't know if the value is as big as it was. But you'd like to get that ball away from his side. Yeah, you could spin one rail behind that 2 with ease, kicking the 2 towards the top right, just slowly drifting down the top left long rail. You've got the 11 and 9 covering the 4. Is he looking at it now? Yeah, he just caught it pretty thick. Didn't take much time there. I've been bragging on you, Brandon. Don't let me down. Gorst looking at the 8. He's got such a good cue ball, believe it or not. At times, I believe he's a little more passive than he needs to be. I think sometimes he gets in these ruts where he overthinks and gives himself a little bit of a headache because he's so good at moving that cue ball around. Well, it's evident that I am a jinx. And Brandon Shuff is going to be off to the races. Yeah, he just tried to stun through that ball and kind of let it go. So Gorst owes 2 in game number 2. Just what Shuff needed here. Really needs to bear down and get what he can. The 13's available. Caught the wide end of that pocket. Do you want to get an angle on the 11 to try and move the 8? Or do you just want to take what's available? Try and get down here on the 7 or the combination. Oh, wow. So he was dead straight on that ball. Does this angle provide the combination on the 14-7? Looks a little steep. Maybe it does fall correctly. Yeah, it looks steep to me to get on the 14-7. No, it's okay. Oof. So here's the only thing I can say about what's going on with Brandon right now is this, and he's pretty quick when he gets over the ball anyway, but he seems a little quicker than normal. Maybe just a bit uncomfortable at the moment. I expect that to change. Because he typically doesn't miss balls like this. Fedor typically doesn't make the errors he's made either. Gorst in trouble here. Like to get below the 11. Yeah, very, very tough to do. could have nicked the 14 and just played ticky pool right there for a while and waited to see if he got anything better. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He was trying to come one rail over for the 7 there and just went right into the back of the 7. I felt like you could punch out one rail and get a shot on the 8 or the combination at worst. Now is where you don't want to push the envelope. Still a lot of meat left on the bone in this game. Fedor only owes 2. So you're by far out of the woods yet. I would try to contain him. Can you come off the 3 and 1-2 behind the 9? You just roll the 8 up. Man, it's too tough. You're going to leave the 4. Can you roll to the 9? But then are you going to leave a bank on the 12 or the 4? So he's put himself in a little bit of a tricky position. Yeah, I don't know that you want to try and do anything with this 5. Can you bank it? Can you just bank it up towards the 12 and 4? Come over to the lower left? Oof, dangerous. And you've left the 4 or the 12. Yeah, a little surprising there. That's 3 times that he's had a cross corner, and it's coming up short. Something I've alluded to. Brand new cloth, but these tables play very true. There's a lot of people in the building. Therefore, they're acting pretty natural or normal. You typically expect that ball to drop a little bit more off that rail or slide, and it hasn't. Oh, wow. Look at that play. Wow. Wouldn't mind getting another look at that. He just crossed the ball into the other ball. Yeah, let's get another look at that. Yeah, wow, pretty good play there. He played the 4 off the point into the 14. Very good. Very good. Shuff playing for 4. Gorst playing for 8. And this is also good. Completely elevated over the 9. I don't mind bringing balls down when you can do that. Typically, a golden rule is when you've got a big ball lead, you don't want to bring them back down table for your opponent to get them. But in that scenario, you're kind of putting a lot of pressure on him, although he's one of the best alive, elevated. Yeah, both players just making a few mistakes right now. And it's common. It happens in these short races. We all do it. Shuff on his way to tying this matchup if he can get over to the combination or the 5. Playing for 3. You see, I was going to say he took more time there, and I'm absolutely shocked he missed that ball the way he did. I didn't expect it. And Brandon will tell you he's never in life supposed to miss that ball there. Just seemed like he was good over the ball. Gorst just had enough. He's going to whiffle the one back. Yeah. Now he can cut the 5. Going to the stripe. Probably get another shot from here if he can catch enough of that stripe. Yeah, if he can catch enough of the 14, I think he gets 3 at least from here. And that might be even better if he can get up behind the 8 now. Yeah, I don't think you chance trying to get behind the 2 or 3. You've got a pretty wide margin to get somewhere up there for the 8. Just come long of it. That's the angle. He might be able to come to the front side of it first, 2 rails behind it, and drop behind it. I think it's a little more dangerous. Makes position a little bit of a smaller window. Well, it's pretty good control. That cue ball took a big hop, though. So Fedor owes 2. So there's really no risk of selling out here if you just want to roll the 8. I think he's trying to get more than that. So whether he decides to Z the cue ball back and forth for the 4, he does have the stroke to be able to draw 1, 2 below the 2 and 3 as well, I believe. That's not going to have the juice. And it was off by some margin. Crossing the 8 into the 4. That way you catch it heavier. You know you're going to get good contact with the 4. Otherwise, the cue ball's hot if you cross it to make it. Well, he felt good about it. That's the only point that I had there, is if you don't make it, your cue ball's coming off hot because you've got to catch the 8 so thin. He did leave a shot for Fedor, but it doesn't matter because he got the 8 down. Yeah, and I think you've got to go with the 2 here. Don't think making the 9 is the right move. So avoid the 9 as you go at this ball. And he was aware of that. Brandon Shuff playing for 2. Fedor needs 7. Looking at the 3, 1 rail. There's a couple issues with that. Controlling the cue ball is not easy. Does he have something to stripe off the 6? He's going to go with the 3. Oh, he could play the stripe off the 6. Very good. And he brought another ball down. That'll keep the pressure on Brandon. So you guys see the spot right above the 14. That's for the 9-ball tournament, for the rankings event. They rack the 9 on the spot, so that's where the 1 will go. In case it's got you a little confused or flustered. You got to be very careful here. Maybe chip the 15 over 2 rails to your side. If you can remove it straight on, that's even better, and just tuck down. Yeah, he's going to leave something. He's going to leave a cross corner on the 15. It's a little thin, meaning you've got to catch it pretty heavy. He's come short on every cross corner. Yeah, a little thin. He had to catch it pretty heavy, and I don't think the line was there. Brandon looking at the 3. But he's telling himself, I've got 6 balls to 1. Do I want to bring another ball down table where Fedor can get back in the game? I know it doesn't look like much, but Brandon has to be very careful. That's why he's taking the time that he's taking. I think it's too steep to come off the 14 and lay Fedor below the 15. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. He's going to leave a 2-railer at worst. The 4. It's still pretty good. He was in a tricky spot there. Fedor looking to 2-rail this 4. Is he looking to go forward? Yeah, he is. I like it. Yeah, it's just short. Brandon not in love with it. He's worried about the kiss, meaning if he tried to cross the 4 towards the 15 or even clean more towards the 2, the kiss is almost inevitable. Is he rolling this in? Oh, he really torqued it. He got a bonus, 15 and 2. Lined up towards Brandon's pocket. He really juiced that up in order to miss the kiss. Very nice. Talk about tricky. This is very tricky. I would consider the kick just before the right middle pocket, softly into the 2. What does Fedor have in mind? 2 rails. Boy, easy to lose this cue ball. Yeah, very difficult to execute. Because he had to hold the cue ball behind the blue. Tough to keep Brandon off the 4 there and the 2 at the same time. Asking a lot, that shot. Okay, if you're Brandon, I think you just try to cinch this too. If you get a shot on the 15, that's great. Fedor quickly to the 15. Better get this close. Well, that's all right. That's even better. Now there's huge danger for Shuff, unless he decides to go at this 2. Is there alleyway to get the cue ball between the 4 and 6, cutting the 2, or are you going to go into the 4? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of pressure on Shuff now. Everything opened up for Gorst. I think there was a lot more value in catching those 3 balls with that bank than making the bank, actually. It really looks like he can cut the 2, and the cue ball missed the 6 and 4. It's close, but he must not like anything about it. The cut probably too thin. Going to come off the 15 and get something close to his side. Oh yeah, very well handled there. Fedor can see the 1. Looking at the 6 for the twist back. Don't believe the 2 railer is available unless he can miss the 3. Can he miss the 3 and 2 rail this 1 towards the lower left and come into the back of the 2? Is that what he was just looking at? With speed? If he can miss the 3, there might be a lane there. And that's a miss hit by Gorst. See a little grin from Gorst. He's left Brandon, well, pretty much straight in on the 2 with position. Just caught too much ball there, Fedor. Obviously wanted to catch it a lot thinner. Didn't mean to catch that point in the middle pocket. Do you come over for the combination, or do you just come up for the bank? Can you hold it? Looks like you can elevate like he is and come short, at least toward the 15. Yeah, that's not bad there either. You can cut the 4. Don't worry about the combination. There you go. Now he's looking at the 4. Yeah, just come below the left middle. Yeah, this is ideal. And I wouldn't hate it if you cut this with a maximum inside ball and caught the 1, unless you think you can hold it with an outside ball and stay up somewhere where you are now. You need 1. He doesn't want to make the 9. Oof. Yeah, he just caught it too fat. I think Fedor forced to try and follow this 4 in. Not easy, actually, from where he is. Yeah, well done. Yeah, so we're going to prolong this game. At worst, I don't think Shuff wants to take a chance at cutting the 14. The 6 and 1 favor Gorst. So you need to be careful here. If you're in Shuff's camp, needs to be very careful. Can't tell you how many games have been lost with a lapse of concentration when you've got such a big lead in a game like this. Wow. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Absolutely no reason to play the combination. Not only did he miss the combination, but he scratched. He's going to go back one. Shuff now needs 2. Gorst needs 8. Only good news for Brandon is that the 15 got over there, covering a 6 and 1 up. Surprised Fedor's not looking at cutting the 15 here. And coming up and down. Yeah, I'm just a little surprised at that. He's such a great ball striker. I'm surprised he didn't look at cutting the 15 with a high outside ball coming back and forth or up and down. Brandon dodging bullets. Can you two-rail the 14 out, going to the back of the 15 with the 14? Or is the pocket a little too forgiving for that? Can you catch the point? I think you can remove them both if you go to the 15 as well. Oh, nice. Does it have the legs? It does not. They just stop just in time to where it's way too thin to bank back. Fedor taking a look at it. Keep in mind, he's missed 3 or so of these short. Clearly, you can see why this could come short. Very steep. Oh, wow. What a hit. I mean, what a hit. Just to do what he did was amazing. Extremely thin, that hit. Yeah, now Brandon finding himself in a real tricky position. Completely jacked up out of that corner. Wants to shoot straight at the 14 and stop right there. 14 will clear. Might get lucky and... Oh, no. Brandon going backwards. Wow. And just as I mentioned it a few innings ago, you don't want to lose concentration here. Games have been lost from this position. He is certainly putting himself in the position to do that. This 15 does play. The 8 will play as well. So huge opportunity for Gorst. This is where you really have to trust your mechanics, all your work, all your training, head still, because you can't hit this with too much speed. Yeah. Very clean. This 8 or the 5th ball should play. It looked to me like the 1 was pretty good, anywhere from the lower right half of the table. Wow. I'm just surprised that he didn't go at the 8 there with just a heavy ball, a center cue ball. Felt like he needed to be lower to really get that 1 close in the combination. Brandon, very fortunate that he could see the 1. Is Fedor taking the heat a little bit, looking to bank the 14. I just don't know if that's the right shot. He's so accurate with it. Now taking a look at the 6. Need to get the cue ball up here. Yeah, I think that's a very good shot from where you are. Keep Brandon on the defense. Well, be careful. Looking to maybe swerve across the 6 over. Kick to the bottom rail. Watch the top left corner. I mean, if you hit it good, you can make this to your side, or at least get it close. Boy, the last thing you want to do is sell the 14 out or scratch again. And it looks awful steep from this line here. If you catch the 6 fat, you can double kiss it. You can leave the 8. Does the 8 bank to your pocket? What about 1 railing the 8 to your pocket? That might be the best option, actually. You're on 5. The 4th ball doesn't go for Fedor. Cross the 8 to your pocket. At worst, you think you're going to hang it up, right? Puts you back on 6 balls and go from there. I don't know that Fedor can break those balls up shooting the 6. So maybe just try and cinch the 8, 1 rail, cross corner. If you get it down, then you can remove the 6. But not only do you get out of the trouble, but you gain a ball. Has he scratched again? All right, well, he banked the 8. The only problem is I don't know if he can see the 6. Is he forced to shoot the 1? I did like the decision. I'm wondering if he was playing the cue ball up behind the 1 to keep Fedor doubled up. I might have considered just committing to that cross corner fully and then taking your medicine from there. That way you don't trap yourself if you do make it. Might be time to shoot the 1. All right, so kicking behind the 6. Oh, did he get away with it? Boy, I don't feel like he did. Fedor gets this 5 down. He struggled with a couple of the cross corners. If he gets his 5 down, he becomes the favorite to win the game. Is he entertaining the 14 versus the 5? Does the 5 not play? Looks like the 5's got a window. Well, that's why. Because he doesn't miss straight backs. It's what Fedor Gorst does. Go on, my friend. Got perfect on the 4. He can bump the 5. He can actually shoot the 6. I think he's got the gap to just shoot the 6 and come one rail over for the 5 and 4. But he can play the 4 and bump the 5 at worst. Yeah, now he's looking at the 6. He's fallen absolutely perfect on it. Nothing wrong with shooting either one of them. Whatever you feel comfortable with. 4 is fine. Wow, what a game this has turned out to be. Now we can come one rail over and track above the blue 2. Somewhere where the line of his cue is at now. Maybe a high with a pinch of right, just to flatten the cue ball out. What a sick game this would be for Shuff. And he could have, going back to Shuff's inning, he could have cut it to 1 and won the game. Brought the cue ball 1-2 down and banked the 6 next. Instead, he tried to take the 6 out and left the straight back. Fedor doing what Fedor does. This is heartbreak hotel for Shuff. He's had this game to grasp his fingertips multiple times. Fedor looking to come all the way down behind the 1 or just take the long rail bank. He'd like to get all the way out here. Doesn't want to flirt around with playing any more of this game. Oh, he's overcut it. He took a lot more time than I expected on that shot. There was something he didn't like about it. Obviously, it was steeper than it looked. Brandon Shuff still has a heartbeat. He is back in the game. Do you rail the 9 out and try and force follow the cue ball or keep the cue ball stunned on this bottom rail? Is there a shot? Can you shoot the 3 to the bottom of the 1? Banking the 1-1 rail and 2 railing the 3 towards your hole and stun forward. Shooting the 3 to the bottom of the 1. Banking the 1 rail. Sending the 3 2 rails and stunning your cue ball forward. Oh boy, this has gone all types of wrong. He's caught the 1 way too fat. Fedor Gorst staring down the pipe of a 2-0 lead if he gets this 3 down. I believe it carries natural position. I don't think the cue ball is headed towards the right middle. I think it gets past it. And that's going to be right in the heart. And Gorst, like a thief in the night, is going to steal this game. And this quite possibly could be one of the most heartbreaking games I've called for a player. Shuff needs to regroup. Gorst, 2-0. And we got to thank our stream sponsors. Thank you so much to Hustling USA Clothing Company, JB Custom Crafted Cases, Jerry Olivier Custom Crafted Cues, the best light in the business, Lippman Lights. Get yourself a hat or a shirt through Locked and Loaded Custom Billiard Apparel. Thank you guys so much for your partnership. Wow. Left a little bit speechless with that game there. And I think it really all started with Brandon's decision with ball in hand when he played the combination and scratched in the lower left. I think that took the wind out of him. Probably jarred him a little bit. That's a term we use in pool. It means rattle your system a little bit. And he knows what's really bad is that he knows that he's had multiple chances. He's just not playing his best pool right now. Fortunately for him, Fedor isn't playing his best pool either. So he needs to take advantage of these opportunities going forward, or it's going to be an early night for Shuff. Looking at this, can he go to the 3? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, he's gotten a little bit fortunate there. He tried to remove the 7 with the 3. Barely caught the 7. It's about 4 kisses up there in the stack on the cue ball, and it's ended up safe. But can you expect anything less after what's taken place? Shuff has to get over it. Can you play the 8 into the 4, playing the 1 to the lower right, drop to the top left corner? Is that available? 8 into the 4, 1 to the lower right, drop to the top left. Well, that's what he's done. Great shot by Brandon. Take another look. Caroming the 8 off the 4 into the 1. Avoided the scratch. Now faced with another tricky scenario. The 11 covered up by the 7. The 8 is really thin. You've got to hit the 8 great. And the problem with the 8 is that if you don't land on this left long rail, what else do you have? You've got to be able to cut the 9 next. Oh, boy. Yeah, you can't hit it much better than that. Notice, playing a little less nervy, right? If he misses that ball, probably the match. Wow. Well, I know Brandon, and I know how straight he shoots. I know he's not thrilled at the moment with his performance. I don't know what that's going to do. He's left Brandon a look at the 14. Just elevate here, bank the 14 to the 5. Wow. I thought he would elevate a little bit with the right ball, turn that ball down towards the 5. You have all sorts of great things that can happen. I've seen Fedor cut this 3 ball many, many times playing one pocket. Seems like he's in a little bit more of a defensive mode. You can see why. He's won some games that way. Now, looking at something else, maybe the 3. Gonna go to the 14. I believe 14 banks clean, actually. Yeah. Just caught it a fraction thick. That was a great look at it as well. Just caught it a fraction thick. He's left Brandon the 4. It's do or die for you, Shuff. You have to take advantage. You know, with the 14 hanging, that the man at the other end of the stick will take advantage. You have to get these balls. He's going to go to the 13 next. That's good. Now you can come forward without any risk. Just really put your focus in making the ball. Drop down for the 5. You'd like an angle on the 5 to maybe go up and bump the 9. Yeah, this is perfect. Now you can go into the 9, maybe the 11. I would flirt with trying to go into the 11, just catch the 9 heavy. I guess the 10 and 2 are all right if you want to go into those. Yeah, that was the only concern, is leaving yourself elevated or awkward. His last at bat with the bridge wasn't so hot. Can he redeem himself? Yeah, kind of. So once again, Shuff stuck on 6. One rail to the 14. I like it. I think it's your best route. It's the biggest way to catch the ball. Pretty hard to scratch. It's going to be fine. So, can Fedor Gorst do it again? How many rabbits can he pull out of his hat? Is he going to 2-rail the 11? I don't know that it's even on. Yeah, that ball's so close to the center of the table. How do you hold it? Yeah, pretty good from where he was. Can continuing to keep the pressure on Brandon, even though Brandon leading by 5 balls at 6 balls to 1. So once again, Brandon protecting. Can you chip off the 9 and just come down to the lower right corner, leaving the 9 on your side? He's trying to find something a little more advanced, but I feel like it's risky. And I think kicking at this ball is even more risky. It's so far out, kind of in no man's land. Too many things can go wrong, even if you hit it right. You can leave the cross corner too easily. Wow. Wow. It's got to be said, he's allowed Fedor a look at winning this game as well. If he can get the 11 down, he might be able to punch through or come off the top of the 12. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I feel like if he goes forward and gets this 11 down, he can win this game. Something he doesn't like about it. His success at the cross corner, I don't think he's real confident right now. He's struggling with it a little bit. Wow. I don't know how you can pass this up unless he can't get position. That might be obviously the problem. It's not worth it if you can only get 1. So Shuff might have got away with something there. Big time. Well, looking to jack straight up, bank the 6-1 rail, draw the cue ball 1 rail up behind the 12. That's a lot to ask. This is kind of what I was talking about, though. Fedor has no problem playing the right shot. Brandon said, I wanted you to shoot the 6. Fedor said, yeah, and had a little grin as he walked away. At this point, I think you've got to get these balls up table if you're in Shuff's corner. Oh my. Why wouldn't you shoot? I thought he'd shoot the 11 into the 15 and just draw back down. Send a couple balls up table. I know he was trying to catch the 10 there with the 3. And the cue ball's leaked out. Fedor trying to hold behind the 12. His 3rd at bat with the bridge. Look at this form. And wanted to get back another couple inches. Not out of the woods yet. Doing everything you can to get on the board. Just going to come below the 2 here. Shuff playing for 1. through the 11, towards the 9, I would assume. Protecting the 2. Does the 3 bank? Dangerous. Just going to chip off the 3. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good from there. I don't know how you protect the 2 now without a little bit of danger. Is he looking to play the 6-15 bank and send the 6-2 rails towards his pocket as well? Look at this cue ball. What a great shot this is. Wow. What a great shot that was. How do you control the cue ball from that line like that? Wow. Thought if he catches the 15 a little thinner, he caught it thick. If he catches it a little thinner, the 6-2 rails towards his pocket as well. Here we are again. If Brandon looks to kick the 2, once again, it's out in no man's land. It's a little closer to this left long rail than times past. He's hit it better. But it's still good for Fedor. It almost feels like Brandon can't buy a game, no matter what he pays. Can you bank the 2 into the 15 here? Well, he was trying to nudge him up on the 3 again, I think. So if he can see the 6, and it were me, I would commit to banking the 6. But he can't. So he's going to cross the 2, and I can't blame him. This is tricky for Fedor. That ball's in a position where it's almost, he's just got to bunt it down, I guess, to the bottom rail. Let's see what he does here. That's what I'm talking about as far as his IQ. I didn't see that shot. Extremely high level to know that you could get the cue ball over there just above the 15, not leave the 6, and get the 2 to your side. Yeah, very, very, very high level right there. His IQ on where to leave the cue ball is just naturally always there. I didn't see it. I know it didn't look fancy, nothing spectacular. But boy, oh boy, pretty effective. And once again, Brandon could chip off the bottom of the 6 with an inside ball. Just come down here below the 2. The 6 will push the 3 over to your side a little bit more. You could 2-rail the 15 out and follow forward, but you're risking leaving the 10. Fedor hasn't missed a straight back since 2010. So you might not want to do that. Jeez. Cue ball was boinging. Fedor might still take this 10 on. Trailing 7-1 in the ball count. The 11 is a big ball. He's going to have to twist it, I believe. If he shoots at this bank, I believe Shuff is going to get on the board. He just didn't turn it enough. I actually think he hit it better than I thought he was going to hit it. He hit it really well. Just didn't quite turn it enough. Shuff playing for one. And he's got it done. Brandon Shuff on the board. Gorst leads 2-1. These are our event sponsors. We couldn't have the event without them. The best in the business, Diamond Billiard Products. Simonis Cloth, best pool balls in the world. Without a doubt, Aramith Billiard Balls. Outsville AccuRack. AccuStats Video Productions, Pat Fleming, Mike Howerton. Last, but very not least, Masters Billiard Chalk. Thank you guys so much for putting the event on. We greatly appreciate it. Fedor Gorst to break. Close to the side rail, switch sides. See if he avoids the scratch. Cleaner hit, but don't ask me how these balls finish like this. It's obviously got something to do with the rack and how clean you hit it. But it's good news for Shuff as he comes into the pile here. Wow. Just left him wide open to kick at that stack. Do a lot of damage here if he'd like. I don't know how the 3 looks, but I think he's just going to chip off the 5. Spin around. Protect the 13. Yeah, tough to tell. Coming to the stack here. Yeah, that's why I thought Brandon would come towards the 6 and 2. The 13 didn't go. If Brandon would have come towards the 6 and 2 and kept him cut off of it, he wouldn't be in this position. Not that he's in a terrible position yet, anyway. But it just got worse. And I felt like that was dangerous, trying to get up behind that ball. I know he was trying to stay behind the 13. Really dangerous. Oh, can he 2-rail towards the pile here? Oh, boy. Nice strike by Gorst. Killed that cue ball. 1-2 into the bottom of the stack, opening the 8 up. What's next? Looks like it's got to be the 5. Doesn't want to get straight. Can he come back for the 11 now, or does he want to take the 3 next? Problem with coming back for the 11 is if you don't get there, you kind of stick yourself up. probably go to the 3 next. Yeah, very good. Wow. Such a beautiful stroke he has. Struggled with the short railers. Does that have the speed? It does. Gorst playing for 4.
TV tables Billy Thornton, Shane Van Boning. Table 4, Yogi Roy and Van Cortese. And table 19, Robert Walker and William Markville.
Oh, what a hit. I know it's going to be short, but at that speed, to still stun the cue ball is not easy. You could really say this is all a result of Brandon's first shot off the break when he came off the one that was towards the right middle. He put a lot of right spin on the cue ball, which dropped the cue ball below the pile, allowed Fedor to chip off the bottom of the 5, come 3 rails and stick him up behind the stack. Then Brandon tried to come off that ball and tuck him behind the 13 and sold it out. So that was all a result or a chain reaction. And this is what the game's all about. Protect your leads, protect what's leading for you, and keep your opponent off the shot. That's the goal. Don't force anything if it's not there. But at the same time, you've still got to be aggressive. You can't win if you don't make 8. But here, it's pretty automatic. You've got to get rid of the 1. You can kick below it, send it up table softly to cover up the 11. You could 2-rail it to your side, but be careful. You could leave a cross corner. That 1 could come off the 4, 9, 10. Oh. Yeah, and I watched Brandon play, like I said, all week. He's really looked well to me. So just having a tough match. Because I don't think, if you ask Fedor, I don't think Fedor would say he's played particularly well for his level. I think you've just got to shoot the 1 to the right long rail and stick him up behind the 6 and 12 here, right? Going to end up okay. But boy, if 2 comes down anymore, he's going to leave him across corner. Well done, though. He got 2 to his side. Well played. Fedor with a 4-0 ball lead. Needs 1 game to advance. Neither player has a loss. I don't think he would have any problem sending these balls up table. Aware that the 15 is going to track 2 rails to the right side. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
the world famous 30 City Classic.
What he's looking at here, he's doing something with 15. Oh, he's caught it off the point. He's left the 11. At worst, if Fedor wants to shoot it, but Fedor's leading 4-0. He's just going to remove the 1, drop down.
25 years of this event. It's the modern day equivalent of Johnson City, but it's definitely taken.
I don't know if you're Brandon Shuff, if you feel like you have to force this issue. Yes, you're trailing 4-0. But you can wait him out a little bit, see if he makes a mistake. You don't have to take every chance. Like here, you could shoot the 12 and just stick on the 4. You're going to move more to your side. The 12 is going to 1 rail off the 7 towards the top left. The stripe above the 7 is going to go up towards your side. He's going to bank the 11. Can't fault him. Thinks he can hit it good. Yeah. A little unlucky there, to be honest. You don't have to catch the bottom end of that pocket like that and have the 9 come out like it did. That's going to hurt. Wow. Expected Fedor to get above the 10 there.
He also has 2 titles among his fans hanging up here this week. Maybe another one for the Bigfoot. And he's sponsored by VNEA, Proud Tips,
Brandon can't be too upset about that. It could have been a lot worse. I know he's a little frustrated that the 9 rattled out of his pocket and left the bank. That is pretty brutal. That being said, he's had his chances. He knows it. He's a realist. He's not out of it yet. Fedor needs 3. Brandon, typically a very positive player as well. Rarely see him get too far down on himself. I think he has gotten down on himself in this match. I don't know. Opening those balls up, I think, had to favor Brandon. Might want to go to the 12 here. Can you shoot the 12 towards the 11 and just go above the right middle? I don't know if it's available. Careful if you go to the 12. It's real easy to leave a bank on the stripe that's above the 14, which I think is the 15. You can also leave a bank on the 4, so maybe it's not the play. Yeah, but you got to put more effort into that. Really work at getting cue ball on this bottom rail. You can't just leave Fedor all this ball. Make him work. Yeah. Fedor might look at this bank with a 5-0 ball lead. Boy, is this an opportunity for Shuff to get back in this match if Fedor shoots this and it goes wrong. Typically, I'd say if Fedor's shooting at it, yeah, that's why he's thinking otherwise. He's pretty smart, this young man. About as smart as they get when it comes to the pool IQ. That was kind of yeah, if I make it, great. If I miss it, I know it's going back up table. I think it was more of the second half of that, really. He didn't want to flirt though 7 or 11 or hitting them. Cue ball. Again, a little bit lost. Boy, he didn't draw it at all. He's really had a hard time getting the cue ball back down. Did he leave the cut? No. No chance. He's going to open those up. Man, dangerous elevating there. I felt like you could roll that ball. Is he going to get away with it? Fedor 2-rail the 12. Go up towards the 1. He's not going to have any of it. Once again, just roll up on the 12. You don't have to hit this with... Yeah, okay. Now you've left the bank, I think. Well, you've left a bank on the 12. I don't know about the 4. Yeah, so good at that. But Brandon could have just rolled through on the 12 and just left him right above the 7 there with no risk of leaving anything. Gorst playing for 2. Boy, has he overcut this? You just don't see him miss these shots that he's missed this match. He hasn't missed a lot of them, but it just seems like he's struggled a little bit. Fedor, maybe his timing is off a little bit. He doesn't play a lot of one pocket. He's more of a rotation player. And Brandon, typically, I feel like, well, I don't feel like, I know he plays better than what he's played here. I don't know if Fedor's got him a little bit, you know, jarred in a way. I'm just calling it like I see it. I've had hundreds of matches where I didn't play the way I felt I could play. I guess that's obviously all of our goal, is to play our game. Sometimes it's very difficult to do. Easier said than done. Kicking behind the 6 here. He's going to cross the 6. Yeah, I'm really surprised at that. So I think some of his decisions, starting from early on, were a little quick, a little questionable. And I think he would have to agree. He's a buddy of mine, knows I'm not picking on him. But he had chances to win this match. Fedor would agree with that too. I'm surprised Fedor didn't roll down there and bank the 6. one to cinch the ball. Playing for one. For the most part, Fedor's played pretty solid. There's some spots early on, I think, where Brandon really could have taken advantage. He knows that, obviously, like I've said. Not a fun spot to be in if you're Shuff. I'm going to 3-rail to one and just stop there. Not fun at all. Going to be forced to possibly bank the 7. With no real future. The 2 14-10 are tied up. The 11 and 15 don't help you at all. The 6 is obviously out of play. But what do you do? Prolong the agony or try and get something down? Maybe go forward banking the 7. If you make it, you bank the 1. Or do you try to get safe somehow? Got to follow forward. Oh no, he's banking the 11. Fedor could 2-rail this with a high outside cue ball and get it close to his pocket. I don't see any real big threat unless he's worried about selling the 2 out. Or just, can't you cut it? Oh, he wanted to get it past that point. Hook Brandon on the 11. Nice hit there. I don't know if you can do anything with the 15 or the 6. I don't think you can do anything too great with it. Just chip off the 7 here? Yeah. Wow! We've seen it all, folks. Gorst needed 1. Brandon Shuff on life support. Gorst goes in the drink. Shuff with a heartbeat. Oh my goodness. What is happening? Nice shot by Fedor. All too aware of moving the 12. And the 15, clearly. Yeah, Shuff got to be frustrated. He's going to bank at the 11. Is there a kiss and play? Oh, very clean. I think he's going to get on the board with that one. And you hear him say it. It's not funny. I can make those, but I can't make ball in hand. I truly felt like Shuff had a chance to get back in the game there, and he just got quick on the ball in hand. Shot it straight into the rail. Please raise your hand if you've done that before. I'm sitting in my chair with my hand in the air. Boy, I almost feel like you've got to one rail the 15 here and go into the 12 with a high right ball, or a high left ball, excuse me. Is it too thin to do that? Yeah, I think you could use an inside ball here, but then you're going to come behind the 2-7-1. See what I mean? Well, it's turned out rosy. That could have been disaster. Going into those balls like that, I felt like he could have easily left Fedor something positive. I don't know, is he looking to kick the 15 right now? Do you have to do that? Can you just roll onto the 10? Send a 1 to the rail? See what your opponent's going to do at least? I wouldn't take a chance at kicking the 15 and fouling here. Go back another ball when you were on the hill. You only need 2. Consider chipping the 7 and do anything. This is dangerous. Yeah, very dangerous. You could do anything there but that. That was the danger in kicking that ball. Not only could you foul, you could leave him a shot on the 15. Brandon, you need to take advantage. Fedor, not at his best this match, by any means. Wow. Really struggling. Can he get on the 2? Almost ran smack dab into the face of the 5. Should have been nowhere near it. What is happening here? Can he see this line? I think he can get on the 2 if he can make this ball. Ugh. Yeah, he put more inside on it than he wanted. Well, you can 2-rail the 2. Drop down for the 14. It's definitely there. Yeah, it's definitely there. Just play this with the proper speed. See if we can get a look from the other end. Yeah, we get a good line. This looks like it lays nicely. You just really got to control the pace here. Don't let this go off in your hand. And he's caught it a little thin. I think I would have played more cue ball versus an object ball there. Just get it to my side. You know the 14 doesn't go if you leave him below those balls. Neither here nor there. Fedor needed 1, now needs 3. And you can almost sense a little bit of frustration / panic from Gorst. Fedor needed 1. Shuff, I believe, needed all of them. He did need them all. Why do I get the feeling that Brandon feels like he's way out of this game still? You don't want to mess with the 2 balls on the top right. If your Shuff want to remain locked up, you can cut the 1 to the 7 and come over above those balls. Is he looking at the 3 railer on the 1? You can kick the 14 out and just stick right there. Kick it to your side. Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if you're going to do something with the 2 here, you got to be a little careful. I'm wondering if Fedor thinks he can 2-rail the 2 out and go into the back of the 14. It's a little thin. You could miss the 14 or leave across corner. Yeah, he's missed the 14. I don't know if that was planned. I'm assuming it was planned. If it was, no, he put his hand up, so I don't know if he was apologizing for the cue ball or if he was actually trying to catch the 14. Still a class move to put your hand up there. Still don't know how I feel about that. I do the same thing, but are we really sorry? Yeah, now all of a sudden, in a pretty tricky little spot here. Actually, very tricky little spot. Can you just clip the 1 or the 10? I can't tell which one he can see enough of. Just shave it and come down here below the 6 and 12. You're just shaving one of those 2 balls. Yeah, I don't know. He's in a tricky spot here. I don't think you want to do anything with the 7. It's too dangerous, even if you think you can come over there. I just think it's too dangerous. You could leave the 2. You could leave a cross corner on the 7. Yeah, I think it's too dangerous. I think you're better off coming off the 10. Unless you think you can draw this ball below the 6 and 12, maybe that's entertainable. Well, that's not, I mean, that is not bad. If he comes over a little further, he might leave the 2.
We're in the kitchen, that's good. Any more, we spot. See you in an hour. The one closest to the far cushion. I gave you one.
Yeah, so he's found a pretty good position for this to actually end on. Is Fedor entertaining the cut, or is that left middle in the way? Also, yeah, so is he going at this? You'll notice the ref came over. After 2 hours, 5 or more balls past the head string, the closest to the top rail will come up. That was the warning that they received. Fedor going for the gusto. Oh, he has caught it way thick. He's fortunate, I guess, that he didn't go into the right middle. He's just off. I feel like his timing has been off pretty much the whole match. But you don't typically see him miss a ball by that much. He caught it way thick. You have to think that if he catches it thin like he's going to make it, he could have scratched with ease. So look at this. Brandon Shuff, one ball away from tying this matchup. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I did say earlier, I've seen crazier things happen. Now, he's starting to hit the cleaner side of the pocket. Because nothing has been really clean for him so far this match. I guess you've got to bank the 2, but you don't want to bank it long. Better off banking this short than long. He's hit it with good speed. I don't think he's risking the cross corner there. Yeah, so after 2 hours, 5 or more. In other words, if Fedor kicks this 5 up table, and it just gets past the head string, the 6 will spot up. After 3 hours, anything past 2 balls past the head string will spot up. That's when they'll get their warning. If it goes to 4 hours and the game is tied and the ball count is tied, it goes to sudden death. And I know all too well because I lost in sudden death to Pius Labutis. What a crazy second half of this match this has been. Yeah, and I can't fault him. He's going to move the 12-6. Oh, boy. He tried to hit the 12 going in. Something going on with Fedor. I noticed it pretty early. He just didn't seem sharp. Hasn't seemed sharp, really, a lot of the match. It's been a great match to call because we all have these matches. A lot of pool played between the bank pool, and they're already into the 8th round of the 1 pocket. Got to win another 7 rounds to win the tournament. Is he going at the cross corner? Okay. Oof. And I don't know if Fedor can twist this 2 back without catching the kiss or not. I think it's available. I don't think he can play it. I think the kiss is on. So you're looking at 2 railing the 6. Looks tight. He's kind of gotten to that aggressive mode after a couple blunders late in game 4. And your mind will do that to you playing this game. You can get out of the game plan quickly when things go awry. Gotta be careful here. It looks really tight. You don't want to catch the 1 going in or coming out. You also want to keep Brandon off a cut on the 2 if you're drawing over. He's done exactly what I said you can't do, is catch the 1 going in or coming out. He caught it going in. So he's forced the issue here when he didn't necessarily need to, excuse me. And it's all because of how this game's played out. We talk about momentum swings and rotation pool. Well, they're the same in 1 pocket. We've seen it for years. And to be honest, never in a million years did I think Brandon would win this match in the position he was in, early and late, or early and mid game 4. Fedor with a wake-up call. Shuff needs one. Wow, and he's looking at going at that. If he catches this stripe, the 12, a little fat, he could leave the cross corner. There's nothing wrong with crossing the 2 to your side, bringing the cue ball down to the lower right side of the table. Yeah, just really dangerous. You need one now. You've gotten yourself back in this game. You're fortunate not to leave anything better than that for Gorst. Very fortunate. That could have been bad news bears. Is Gorst entertaining the 2-railer on the 12? I think the 10 is covering that up on the way out. Can he bank the 10? If you could 1-rail the 10 back towards his pocket and bring the cue ball over to the top right side, now he's looking at it. If he can do that, it's better than anything if you want to be aggressive. Yeah, I don't think he got the cue ball where he wanted. Did he get this down? Well, pretty good hit. Does Brandon take the 12 on? Pretty hard not to. I think it's go time. Wow, and we have action, folks. 2 games apiece. One of the craziest games I've called in one pocket in many, many years. Let's not forget Brandon Shuff won the lag. He will be breaking on the hill. Do us a favor while you get time. Head over to YouTube. Like and subscribe. Give Railbirds TV a follow. Hit that notification bell. Bringing you all the best action. Thank you all so much for sticking with me through this match. Railbirds appreciates it as well. They're going to take a quick break. And so there you have it. How about one game for all the mustard? Speaking of mustard, he's got the yellow ball in his hand. I really am at a loss for words, and I know that's probably hard for anybody to believe. But I didn't expect this match to go hill-hill. It looked like Brandon was on life support plus. Fedor was his paramedic. Brought him back to life. Brandon took advantage. And has a legitimate chance of winning this match. Right here, right now. Neither player has a loss. Let's not forget, anything more than 4 balls, in other words, 5 or more past the head string, will spot up. Oh, and he's laid down a doozy. I believe he's laid down a good break. Fedor could come off the 13 and go directly towards the 15 softly, or the 12. It's a little risky, but a lot of good things can happen there. You keep him flat on the 9. Can't do anything with the 10. There's nothing wrong with it. Can he kick below the 10 here? That's what he's looking at. Kicking below the 10. Just get the feeling this is going to be a pretty long game. I don't know why, but I get the feeling it is. And you can see here, he can spin off the 13 and go towards the 12. It's a little touchy, but you can catch the 13 full. He's not going to cut the 9 if you get him near the 12. This is okay, but you're going to have some work to get out of this break. Brandon looking at the 10. I would immediately be looking at the 1 or the 5. Keep Fedor completely off of anything aggressive. Yeah, you'd like to get him behind the 6 and 8 here. Well, he's lost the cue ball. That's why I thought he would go off the 5 maybe, even if he caught the 5 thick, played it almost 2 rails, and then gone heavy into the 6 and 8 off the left long rail. But boy, can Fedor see the 10? If he can bank it into the 12 and play the cue ball up in the top left, splatter everything to his side and change this entire game around, using the 13 and 9 as a double up. There's more value in banking the 10 towards the 12 than banking the 10 clean. So that would never be a question for me. I'm always going to bank it to the pile versus get 1. You want to gain position. Is he looking to bank this clean? Oh, maybe that's all he could see of it. Yeah, this angle, that's why he's going to the 13. And that's not bad. You got to expect Brandon going to come off the 5 this time. Put him behind the 6 and 8. Literally glue him to the 6 and 8. Just get the 5 up table. With a right cue ball. You're going to go in towards the back of the 6. It's a real good look at it here. He's got plenty of room to do it. It's not too steep. If he wants, he can catch it thin and try and do it, but it's easier to just catch a heavy ball. Yeah, just like so. Absolutely, that's all you can do there. You kind of felt like this was coming an inning or two ago. Good news for Gorst is that there's nothing threatening low, so if he has to, he can take a foul. You want to take a foul flat, meaning towards this center diamond. You don't want to come all the way over to the right lower end of the table, because then you give Shuff the opportunity at thinning the 11 and putting him back where he's at now. If that happens, and now he's going to kick 2 rails around to the 9. This is okay. Just don't want to hit it high. That's okay. About that. But Shuff has a 2-railer on the 9 and can just float up, can't he? Can't he 2-rail the 9 to his pocket? I think that's what he's looking at. Yeah, and it lays nicely. I don't think the 6 plays off the 11 in Gorst's pocket. Yeah, nothing to think about here. This could be a match-winning shot. If you hit it too hard, the 9 will shorten up off the second rail. So you want to play this pocket speed with accuracy. Cue ball's going to track up table clearly, but if you hit it pocket speed, you're going to have a nice angle on the 10. You don't want to follow them. There you go. So you'll notice as soon as he got over the ball, he pulled the trigger. And I think that's always been a little bit of a downside maybe to Brandon's game if he just gave it another split second. Literally. He could dial it in a little better. Yeah, be careful here coming off the 12. Could leave a bank. Yeah, and he has left a bank. He's left the 1. You can elevate on the 1 here and just go into the 2 or 3. You'll have a shot on the 12. I don't believe the 11 sells out. Huh. Okay. He felt good about it. It was close. Obviously, if he gets it down, there's nothing wrong with it. I felt like he could bank the 1 and just hold. Maybe he could have cut the 11. It didn't look like it from that other angle. Can I get another look from the other angle?
Coming up in 5 minutes, we got Danielson and Evan Lunda, table 17. Danielson and Evan Lunda, table 17.
Yeah, so I don't think if he would have banked the 1 there and just kind of stunned up to the 2 and 3, I don't think Fedor could cut the 11. No way, no shape, no form. So that was his other option. And the only problem now is he's lost position as well. Fedor can dig this out. Oh, he's got a double kiss. Wow. Big time swings going on in this match. Big time swings. Big pockets, tough to kick that ball out, I guess. Now, I believe you've got to stay aggressive here. Bank the 12 and stun up for the 10. Nothing goes in Fedor's pocket. Off to the races is Shuff from nowhere. Well, he's actually gotten a real nice angle to go into the pile. He gets this combination down. He can win the match. This is stunning to me. Oh my goodness, does the 14 play? If the 14 goes, just a little quick again, in my opinion. When that heart rate gets up, that's when you have to take your time. Look at Fedor's pace around the table. It's always the same. Always. Therefore, in pressure situations, he's going to execute better than many. Not saying necessarily right here, but I'm just saying overall, the pressure is on and your timing is accurate. Your pace around the table, you take your time. You don't overlook or overrush a situation. Your percentages are going to be higher than your opponents. big shot here. It must be close. Wow. Look at how these balls have finished. Gorst has one. Looks pretty natural to go into the 6. Cutting the 3. Gorst owes one. Excuse me. Any misstep here by Gorst, it could be curtains. And he knows it. Elevating a little bit. So I thought he could level out and just go into the 6 heavy with a right ball. Oh, wow. Wow, that's why he elevated. Very, very nice. One, two, three. I see the 9, 6, 11, 4. Possibly the 7. Big potential here for Gorst. A little punchy there. I don't typically see that quick stroke. Brought the Q-tip back quicker than normal. Coming to the 11 now. You want to carry an angle. Up by the spot would be good. This is fine. Now, does he want to come up and flirt with the 15 like this? I don't know. If it's time, can you trap yourself that way? Can you get on the rail? Do you just come up for the 4? Eliminate risk. He's going to come up and try and go into the rail, then the 15. Dangerous. Yeah, and he's caught the 4. And now he's reaching to even make the 1 for Shuff. He's acting like that bottom rail sprung on him. And I will say this table seems awful bouncy this match. That cue ball has gotten hot off these rails many times when I didn't think it was going to spring the way it did. This is tricky with the big pockets. Okay, he's got it clear. Didn't stun the cue ball down much, though. Can Brandon bank this ball? To come up. Trying to figure out what he's going to do here. Do you just go to the 5? I don't think it's time to take a chance with this bank. And that's okay. Could have put more pressure on him, though. 2 rail in the 5 to your side and just following down. Now they're going to go up table for sure. Do you want to play Fedor at this game? Well, the 5 is still there. But now a little different. I don't know that you're really putting any pressure on him going to the 5 at this point. Guess you could just roll it softly. Make sure he's doubled up on the 11 and 7. Yeah. See, the problem there is now Fedor can get to the 7 even if he just removes it. The 7 was favoring you. Use the 11 to keep it covered up and keep him awkward. Just softly rolling to the 5 would have been ideal, I believe. Now he can do whatever he wants with the 7 ball. Here we go. So the rule was 5 or more past the head string. They spot up, but I guess it just spots because there's 5 up there now. Well, he's noticed it a little too late. Well, a lot too late. Yeah, the 13 would come up, but wouldn't you wait a full inning before that happens? That's typically what happens when you discover something in one pocket, meaning if you sleep one that's owed, you have to wait a full inning to spot that ball. I guess that they're just going to carry on. And that's okay. Definitely okay with me. Yeah, there's a little more accuracy. Brandon was off on those type of shots early. Nah. In my opinion, one of the issues with this rule was that now all that happens is that the cue ball stays low. Gorst never going to miss that bank in life. 4 balls to 3. Fedor in the lead. But my point to this is, because I experienced it and I kind of discussed it prior to it happening. I was on a group message for about 6 months with the rules, and I had a different idea with the rules. But the problem is this could actually prolong the game more, because if you know that a ball's coming down to this spot, where are you going to put the cue ball where it's safe? Well, you're going to put it below the ball that's spotting up. So it can actually end up prolonging the game. So it kind of promotes slower play versus faster play in certain situations. I don't know that that will come up in this particular game, but now that they're on the rule, and I'll say it again, the concern is that, let's say another ball gets behind the head string. Well, you know that that ball is going to spot up, so your instincts are going to play the cue ball below it, which will actually slow the game down. Yeah, pretty good hit. Needs to settle, though. Well, look at that hop. This table, very, very fast. But this, if Fedor takes it on, isn't free. I don't know that he can take it on. Yeah, he's just going to send it up table. And look at where the cue ball is, and now the nearest to the head rail will spot up. Their thought process is that this will speed the game up, but it's kind of backfired. I've watched a lot of matches where the cue ball just ends up low and they keep spotting the ball. The cue ball ends up low and they keep spotting the ball. And well, he's going to it now. Well, but Fedor's going to get another good bank. You've got to know this ball's spotting up. You've got to draw to the lower left side of the table. So another big error there. This is 2 to the express rule. Gorst has been handed by Shuff. So Grady Matthews had a rule called Grady's rule, and it was 5 or more past the head string, all spot up at once. What happens there is that it forces the down table game. It forces the balls to come down table. You're never protecting against one bare ball. Now there's 5 coming down. You know that 5 or more past the head string are going to come down at once. And there's actually some play to it where it gets kind of fun. But protecting against one ball that comes down, now you're always going to bring the cue ball low, like what he's about to do. But there's only 4 in the head string. Here's the situation. If he decides to chip at the 7, he's got to get the cue ball all the way down. Here, I think you just roll the 1 towards the 5 and go to the left long rail. It's about all you can do. Yeah, pretty tricky with this rule to protect against anything now. You could bank the 1 straight back down towards the spot, but then you're probably going to leave the 7. 1 rail to the lower left for Fedor. Yeah, no doubt, a tricky situation. If he comes off the 7 here, he's got to protect against the straight back and the ball on the spot. Did he get away with it? Can Gorst bank the 7? I believe he can bank the 1, but I think he can bank the 7 and just come up towards the left middle. Pretty free. And Brandon was in the driver's seat of this game as well until he left him a couple straight backs. Kind of lost his position after the break. Oh, look at this ball spring up. Look at this cue ball spring off that bottom rail. Wow. Show enough, Brandon Shuff. Back in action. He's got a shot on the 1. And it looks to be perfect to get over for the 5 and 2. Hard to believe that that cue ball sprung as much as it did. To be fair, Fedor overcut the 7 by some margin. We're tied up, 5 balls apiece. Shuff in the driver's seat again. Does he play position or does he cinch the 7? It's pretty natural to come around for the 5 and 8. If you think you're an automatic to make this bank with a high right ball, why not? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I might have twisted around there and tried to come up for the 5 or the 8. What's he got in mind? Crossing the 13. I was going to say you just don't want to catch the 5. Shuff in the lead, 6 balls to 5. I think this is cuttable. Although it might be just a fraction above the spot, clearly to the right of it is the scratch on. He's got to overcut it versus undercut it. Oh, wow. What a clean hit. What a clean hit. 6 balls apiece. It can't get any better than this. I believe you've got to take the 1-railer on. A low inside cue ball. Just kill the cue ball above the 8. Out to the middle. It's a thin hit to the 5. I don't think much can go wrong. Cue ball's actually going to track to the left long rail if you hit this thin enough. He played the kick. Not bad. The bank must not have been on if he's kicking it like that. I don't think it was really doable. And this is where an Alex Pagulayan or a Tony Chohan, they're going to kick that 5 heavy from the bottom rail and send it up towards the 11 and 8. They're just going to aim a little wider on the bottom rail with a center right cue ball. Not overhit it. You're just going to catch the 5 full and send it up towards the 11 and 8. It's a pretty straightforward one-pocket play. Even though the 5's out quite a bit, it's pretty easily handled. Under this situation, I don't know. Nothing easy at this point for either of these guys. Wow. Once again, if you'll notice, as soon as he got down on the ball, he pulled the trigger versus knowing exactly where he wanted to be. He caught it way too thin. He's lucky he didn't scratch in the right middle. He's left a straight back for Gorst, but the problem is, if he doesn't get the 5 close, he could leave a cross corner. And he's going to have to put outside English on this ball to avoid leaving Brandon straight in on the 8. A lot going on here. Might be able to actually play the 3-railer to where it's free. Yeah, he's just overcut it, but he was all too aware of leaving the 8 or the cross corner on the 5. That bottom rail is bouncing. Clearly a lot of humidity, or probably a lot of breathing is what's really going on in that building. Okay, folks, here we go. Is this a ref? Yeah, and that's Jason Hill. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best tournament directors in the country and referees. Also a friend of mine, but he's a friend of everybody's. So, some type of a warning on time. The next move after 3 hours is anything more than 2 balls past the head string. The closest to the top rail will spot up. I'm assuming we're probably 5 minutes from that. I don't know if we'll get to that point, but it's close. Uh-oh. That was a mishit. He wanted to catch that ball thinner. Yeah, a lot of outside variables at play in this match now. These rules will change everything. And this looks pretty good. Pocket's going to take it. Shuff. Strutting his stuff. Look at him go. He needs one. Yeah, this table is just absolutely soaking wet. That cue ball is just shortening up off each rail. If you look closely, you'll notice how springy it's playing. I didn't notice that this year, but the room does change from time to time. It's not so much the table than it is the room. Is Fedor entertaining the 8-5 combination off angle bank? You have to guess that there's a large amount of people behind our camera. Wow. Yeah. Does Brandon take the cut on the 8-on? You need one. Do you bring the 5 down into play? And if you cut the 8, catch it thick, you go in the drink. Do you cross the 5 over to the right middle, bring the cue ball down to the lower left? What do you do? Well, he's holding his hand out like this bank goes, and I believe it does go, but it can also go wrong. Shuff for the win. There's no way he played the combination bank, is there? I'll have to ask him. You catch the wrong side of that spot ball and you leave the cross corner and sell the game out. But now the pressure on Gorst. That's not going to get there. Wow, what is going on? Is he weighing up the 2-railer? This brings back nightmares of me and Pius. Pretty much the same scenario. And good speed on the 13. Is he going to take the 8 on? Is he going to 2-rail the 5? You almost get the sense that Fedor's against the clock now. And that's how he's felt since he played the combination bank with the 8 and 5 earlier. When he made the 8 in the top right, you almost get the sense that he's being a little bit rushed. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. My goodness gracious. What an absolute monster hit right there. Take another look. This is a center inside ball, about 50% of the 5, knowing it's going to come hot and short off that top rail. Nothing but net. Does he take the chance and roll the 8? I think he's got to roll the 8 here. Is he looking to 3-rail this ball? I think he's got to roll the... Why is he not shooting the 8? Is there something going on with the rule? Is this the last inning? Yeah, I don't know. Either that or he felt real good with the 3-railer. He was a little concerned at rolling the 8 due to how springy the table's playing. Maybe he's afraid to overcut it, leave the cross corner. I don't really know. Do you 2-rail the 13? And stun down to the bottom rail in case you miss it. 13's going to come short and go back up table if you don't make it. Oh, this is close. Wow, look at how short that's come off. Par for the course. Hard to turn this 8 ball down. But obviously nothing in the rule that warranted Fedor 3-railing the 13 because it's behind the head string now and it's not coming up. So he just felt like that was the shot he needed to shoot. Now, going at the 8. You've got to hit this a little easier than normal to allow that rail to grab. Otherwise, it's going to just shorten right off. Do you go forward and wrap around 2 rails behind the 13 up top? With a high right ball. That way you can play at pocket speed. It's almost natural, right? I don't know that there's a threat of selling the 13 out if you get enough right into it. Yeah, I think he might be doing that. You've just got to dig in with enough right. Not overhit it. Oh, he's just overcut it. But he had that ball for protection all along. He just didn't get it up under it enough. Does Brandon have a 1-railer to the lower right? And you know what? He might have played to overcut it just so he could carry the line that it did, meaning the cue ball. I don't know what he's looking at back there. Is he looking at playing the bank and drawing the cue ball back? I believe this banks as short as the table's playing. I'm positive this banks to the lower right. Yeah, no doubt. Especially if he's aiming there. Shuff playing for 1. Gorst threatening to win the game with the 8 where it is. Here we go. Buckle your seatbelts. Wow. What just happened there? And how did these finish? Can we get another look at that? He missed the bank by a fraction. It doubles up, comes back over to Fedor's pocket, doubles up in his pocket, and finishes here. Take another look. Doubles up, and finishes here. Does Fedor have the combination bank for the win? Does Fedor have the combination bank for the win? Let's get a look. Wow. Crazy match this is. Is this real life right now? And is the 8 laying good? He can use a high right ball, catch the 13 fat, play the cue ball up to the top right side. The 13 will stay somewhere in that vicinity. What's going to happen here? Look at the cue ball. Look at the 13. Wow. This is crazy. Boy, oh boy, what do you do here? Do you take a chance at kicking the bottom of this 13 and sending it to your side, or you just roll it in? Problem with kicking it is if you catch the double kiss, the match is over. Also, if you kick it too far over and leave Fedor the cross, it's guaranteed position on the 8. Do you play the percentages and just roll this ball in and play from there? I'd be hard pressed not to roll this in. I think you almost have to. A lot can go wrong trying to kick this out. What's he doing? Oh my goodness. I don't know what he had in mind there. Very fortunate that cue ball shortened up off this right long rail. Otherwise, it was wrapping around and leaving Gorst automatic position. Does Gorst take on the 4-railer? The table plays right for it. It shortens up quite well. As a matter of fact, the table playing perfect for this. Pretty good shot. Really good cue ball. I'm just at a loss for words practically at this match. Is Fedor going to cut this 8? This 8 is cuttable to the lower left. Is he looking to bank it? Does he think it can come short enough? A lot of guys will cut this 8 to the lower left and swing the cue ball 1-2, or just let it naturally go 1-2 towards the top. If you hit it thin enough, not much can go wrong. A tip of left English. You're just playing to paper cut the 8. Is he double banking this? He's not doing much of anything. He's going to play the cue ball, and I can't blame him. That's his strong suit. That's what he's great at. What an absolute banger of a match. Shuff needs to be careful here. Can you catch the 8 thick with a right ball, swing the cue ball to the top rail, to the right long rail, and back down towards the lower left. 2 rail the 8 over to your side. Pretty tricky. This lays awkward. That's what he's trying, but he's just used a flat ball. Oh, and the 8's rested nicely for him. That's pretty good from where he's at. I'm nervous. I don't know about you, but I'm nervous. What do you do here? Do you just roll this in? I don't think you can risk anything else unless you want to chip it to your side and swing around. Watch the cue ball here. Wow. I thought he hit that thin enough to almost scratch down here in the lower right. Table playing short enough. Oh boy. Yeah, so you got to be careful here. And he knows it. If we can go back to the other angle. Yeah, so Brandon's pocket's in the lower right. So if you want to... Yeah, pretty smart. He's going to force Brandon to roll this ball in. Therefore, at least Fedor can play something defensive-minded. Did he get him? Did he get him? It's close. I think he got him. I think he was saying that Fedor can't intentionally jam it against the rail. I don't know that he did. I think he just tapped it. I don't think he intentionally jammed it to the rail. Hard to tell. He seems frustrated. I wonder if we can get a replay on that. Yeah, neither here nor there. Now Brandon trying to make a legal hit, even though he's going to take a foul. I don't believe that Fedor jammed it into the rail. Let's take a look. He did double hit it. He did double hit it. Yeah, pretty interesting. He double hit it. I mean, we have a tendency to do that. It's a great look. Yeah, he double hit it. He didn't jam it there, but he double hit it. And that's why Brandon's frustrated. We all have a tendency to accidentally double hit the ball in those situations at times. So I'm not going to hound Fedor in that situation. Nerves are high. Can't really be frustrated about it. At least he didn't jam it against the rail. Those are two totally different situations. You just can't believe that he's thinking quick enough to double hit it. Or let's hope he's not. Very tough to make a legal hit even though you're fouling in that situation. And here we are. Gorst needs 3. Shuff needs 2. We're in round 8. Neither player has a loss. If you're kicking at these, you are really gambling after all this work. Brandon on 1 foul, I believe, or did he take the foul out during the replay? I didn't see it. So if he's on 2 fouls here, let me think about this. He rolled the 8 in and corner hooked Fedor. Fedor took a foul. Yeah, I don't think he's on 2 fouls. I think he's on 1 foul. That's why he's able to do this. Yeah, Brandon rolled the 8 in. Fedor fouled. Brandon fouled. Yeah, I don't believe he's on 2 fouls. I think this is the right shot, but you've got to catch the 8 thick and you can't scratch. Oh, he's playing to the thin side. Dangerous. I thought he was going to hit it full and just lay the cue ball down here on the bottom rail, but maybe not an option. The scratch was probably too big. Brandon not thrilled with it. Just got to catch the 8 thinner that way if you're shooting it like that. Brandon just seems to have kind of lost the plot a little bit since Fedor took the foul up there in the left corner. You're still leading in this game. Well, you were anyway. I don't know what's going to take place at this point. Gorst playing for 3. He struggled all match with the cross corners. Wow, what a situation we have here. Brandon could cross the 5, go to the top left corner. At worst, hang it up. At best, make it. You have position. The 11 plays. Can he make the 8? That's what he's looking at. Oof. Yeah, Brandon's body language, everything just kind of seems to have gone into a negative mindset where he hasn't shown much of that in the later part of this match. He wants to get the cue ball closer to that top rail. Still going to be tricky for Brandon to defend. This match looked like it was going to get over an hour and a half ago. What a treat we have. It doesn't get any closer than this. Boy, you got to be careful here. I know I just said that, but you really do. You've got options. You could actually cut the 13 in the side and go to the top left off the bottom rail. The only reason I say that is because the 5 and 11 don't play. Even if Fedor were to cut the spot ball in, he would be taking a chance. If you get the cue ball up to the top left long rail, or even up to the top rail on the left side by cutting the 13 in the left middle. Well, this is pretty good if he gets that 13 up. That's pretty good from there. Yeah, that's real good. You might think he's left an easy bank, but this is not easy, and the cue ball's going to come tracking back down table. So there's nothing free about this if he plays the bank. Now, I might consider playing this into the 5 and just stunning up to the top right, because this is super thin. And that's what he's done, but he didn't stun. He's gotten fortunate that the 5 stayed so close to the left long rail. Wow. What are you thinking here, Brandon? Rail first on the 5? Can you just 2-rail the 5 up and come down into down to the bottom rail? Boy, the way this table's playing so short, rail first on the 5 is touchy. What's he thinking here? I don't know that you can cross this. It's so tight. You got to hit it thin. Yeah, I didn't know that you could cross that ball. Did you just lose the match on that shot? That ball was almost frozen. Wow. I am surprised that he took that on. That was such a tough hit. You had to catch it so thin. I don't even know that it was makeable. You hate to see anyone lose this match, to be honest with you. Does Gorst have a whole pocket here? I believe he does. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's not in love with it. You have to believe that if Brandon was going to cross that ball, he thought he could cleanly get away from it. But boy, it looked super tight, literally about a millimeter off the rail, if that. And the way the table's playing, so hot or springy, extremely tough. But Gorst for the win. Yeah, and he's left him straight in, basically. You've got to feel for Brandon. I think in the later part, like the last 6 or 7 innings, since the cue ball was up in that top left corner, Gorst played the smarter part of the game. But other than that, what a heck of a match. Too bad somebody's got to go. But for now, Gorst going to take the win. The crowd liked the match. You got to feel for Shuff. He really showed heart in this match. Both of them struggled at times. I was honored to call it. As for now, thank you all for tuning in. Until next time.